Testimony, testimony, testimony. Witness of life, witness and witness. I'm asking you, where is Muhammad? Let's move further. How you know that you are all this time talking about right Muhammad? First of all, how you know that? Like in this 1500 years of time, nobody came other than Muhammad name. Like there was only one Muhammad came in these 1500 years of time. Right? So how you know you always talking about the right Muhammad? You never met him. You do not have his picture or anything. If he was here like 20 years ago and your father saw him and then today you testify him, even still, it would not make sense. But for sake of arguments, we say, okay, that's fine. Your father saw him and maybe he explained to you about Muhammad and that's why you know him and you testifying him would make a sense. Now we're talking about 1500 years ago. According to your history, not according to my history. So how you know all this time you always talking about right Muhammad? What if there is 4 Muhammad came before 12th century? 3 Muhammad came before 12th century. And before 15th century there were 4 Muhammad came. What about that? How you know which one is the right one? What if they were all 4 were messengers of God? Right? In reality, that's true what I'm saying right now. There were 4 Muhammad came in reality. All 4 were messengers of God. But you act like that, you know Muhammad very well. So this is your testimony. You never met a prophet. You don't know which prophet you're talking about, which Muhammad you're talking about especially. You don't know that. So let's move. Second question, and it is also very important question. Muhammad is the final messenger of God. That means God is very injustice. That's what you are. All you guys believe that. All of you guys. Whether you are Shia, Sunni, you all believe that Muhammad is the final messenger of God. There is no messenger coming after Muhammad. First of all, you cannot prove that you are talking about right Muhammad. You cannot prove that. How are you going to prove that he was the last messenger of God? That means God is injustice. Why? Because he guided few people, or let's say even if he guided 50,000 or 100,000 people maximum, let's say, in time of Muhammad, right? And now there is nearly 7 billion or 6 billion world population, and he did not send any messenger for their guidance. So he guided only the people of past. And it's a situation with all religions pretty much around you. Not just you, all religions. Right? So God is injustice. He sent his final messenger for, let's say, 100,000 people. 1500 years ago. And in Arabic language. And in Arabic language. So today people speak English, French, let's say, or different languages. How are they going to reach the last messenger of God? Through you guys? Then they are in big trouble. Because all of you guys have a different Muhammad message. If Muhammad was the last messenger of God, God should made a decree that no mother should name her son Muhammad after him, because that will confuse the message in future. But God never did that. And if Muhammad was the last messenger of God, God would preserve his sayings, his message. Shia has a different message of Muhammad, Sunni has a different message of Muhammad. And each denomination of Islam has a different message of Muhammad. So that means, according to your history, as soon Muhammad died, right away you guys split into different groups. Right? Denominations. Right? So the message got distorted from very beginning. It means God is very fail planner. Because he could not preserve the message, the final message. He sent the final messenger, but he could not preserve the message. So everything goes against God, by the way, in your theology. Everything. Everything, everywhere blame goes to God, Allah, creator of this universe. Let's talk about Quran. And there will be more questions about Quran. That Muhammad came with Quran, and that was the final message. I ask you simple challenge. Very simple challenge. Prove me from any verse of Quran that the whole Quran was revealed to Muhammad only. Whole Quran. The Muhammad which you talking about. Let's say. Whoever. Prove me from Quran that the whole Quran was revealed to Muhammad only. Nobody else. I will prove to you guys. An open challenge to you guys. I will prove to you guys that Quran revealed to several messengers of God. Your history of Quran is fabricated and biggest lie. Biggest lie. That it revealed to Muhammad only in 23 years and it verbally passed on. Right? This is the basic history of Quran. Everywhere on internet. And if I give you a pen, a simple challenge, if it's verbally passed down, I give you a pen and play the reciter and try to write down the Quran. You will be done in first 2 chapters. What you're talking about. How you will know the case ending of the last word of each verse. Because reciter do not recite the last vowel. Right? So, simple is that. Get the pen, try to write down the Quran. Learn Arabic. Even if you are master in Arabic, you cannot write down the Quran by listening it. This is the biggest lie ever. Fabrication. But there will be more questions about Quran. So let's talk about Hadith. Narrations. Hadith means narration, saying of Muhammad. According to you, all your hadiths written down after 200 years after Muhammad. After Muhammad. In other words, like whether you are Shia or Sunni, your hadith written down 870 AD, 850 AD, like that. Somewhere after 850 AD. Whether you are Shia or Sunni, Bukhari, Kulaini, Ibn Majah, all those hadith writers, they came after 850 AD, somewhere like that. If I ask you, bring the oldest hadith book, which was written down in 800, even 9th century, let's say 9th century, put it 9th century. Bring the oldest hadith book as evidence. You do not have it. You do not have the evidence. Yet you claiming these books written down so old, these are so old books. But you do not have physical evidence. You do not have any hadith book which is written down in 8th century, 9th century, 10th, 11th, 12th, even 12th century. You do not have a physical evidence. They all, because the reason they were never written down in in that time, they were written down after 12th century AD. That's why you do not have it. You do not have it. So, in other words, what they did, what your earlier scholars did. Now, this is the biggest corruption they did. They, after 12th century, actually your scholars, the pioneer of your religions, okay, whether you are Shia or Sunni, Brelvi, Deobandi, all your pioneers, they came after 12th century AD. All of them. All of them. I challenge you, bring me our oldest Hadith book. You do not have it. What they did, they wrote the books and they say it was written down in 8th century or 9th century. Because they knew they're gonna be dealing with fools who never gonna use their mind to go and look for a truth. They're just gonna believe blindly. And that's what you guys do. Believing blindly. Whatever was passed down to you. So, that's all they did. They told you guys that Bukhari came in 9th century, 8th century, 9th century. You guys believing it? You guys never say, okay, show us the proof. You have the copies of Quran from 6th century, 7th century, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th century. But you do not have copies of Hadith books. And yet your whole religion is based on Hadith, narrations. And funny thing is that there is so much cherry picking in a Hadith. Like, if we go to your scholar, if I have to debate with any of your scholar, he will deny. If he is losing debate, he will deny the hadith. No, I do not. He's going to say, I do not believe this hadith. This is daif. Right? If I ask you prove your religion from Quran, which you guys say is your first source of guidance, which is another biggest lie, you cannot prove anything from Quran. You cannot prove that. Even you cannot prove this Quran is revealed to Muhammad. The whole Quran. If I ask you prove that this Quran is revealed to the whole Quran. I'm not saying part of Quran. Prove it from one verse you cannot. I know part of Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Not one Muhammad, 4 Muhammad. And several other messengers of God. So from Quran, you cannot prove anything about your religion. Anything.